Welcome everybody. Today I wanted to talk about a very weird subject, and that subject is astral projection. Astral projection, the reason I want to talk about it is because astral projection has been a very big part of my life, still is a very big part of my life. Also just because I want to share, not only because I just want to share shit with you guys, but also because I'm hoping that one of you watching or two of you watching will have had these same experiences, if not other experiences that you guys can share with me, that you guys can tell me in the comments. So I don't feel as crazy talking about this shit. There's not a lot of people that I could talk to about this topic or about this situation, just for the simple reason of it being very taboo. It's not something that's, proven by science, but it's not something that's disproven either. So it's still kind of in limbo. It's that gray area between science and like spirituality. I'm not religious. I've never really been religious. I do believe in an intelligent designer. I do believe in consciousness, of course. I believe in a mass consciousness, stuff along those lines. But as far as everything else, I kind of just have my own little weird beliefs, which we can get into in another video. Today's video, we're going to get into my story of astral projection. So astral projection started happening to me when I was about 13 years old. My first experience, I was in my room with my sister. We were laying down. I was not smoking weed at this point. I was not drinking. I wasn't doing anything. I was a good 13-year-old. And my sister was sleeping and I'm laying in bed and I started getting this like low vibrational hum feeling in my chest, and it was really weird. And I remember looking at, we had those like popcorn ceilings. I don't know if you guys, like, I think people still have them. And I was just making designs, and I was kind of going over my day and like school and stuff like that. And I started getting this like really weird sensation, like a vibrational hum, like a like in my chest, right? And so I was like, what the fuck? But I thought, that state your body gets into right before you fall asleep and you're like getting super comfortable and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna crash out now. That's what I thought was happening. That was not the case. So I didn't fight it, I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm about to go to sleep. My eyes were still open though. Okay. This is an important part. My eyes were still open. So I'm looking at the ceiling, and then this vibration gets stronger and it gets more and more intense. So it goes from just the low hum in my chest to a full on all over my body, as if all my cells in my body were fucking vibrating at super fast speed, which they already are because of atoms, and we're not gonna get into that. So once I got that full like vibration in my whole body, it got so loud and so intense and uncomfortable that I got scared, obviously, and I tried to fight it, and I went to go get up because I was like, man, fool, what the fuck is this? So I went to go get up, only to find out that I was fully paralyzed. I couldn't move. I tried screaming for my mom. I could not scream. Some of you who don't know what this is or who don't believe in it, you're going to say, oh, okay, you were dreaming, or you thought this or you thought that. No, dude, I know the difference between when I'm asleep and when I'm awake. And this has been happening to me ever since. And I'm 28 now. I know that it's not anything that I'm making up in my mind. Dude, so I start getting the full vibration. I'm fully paralyzed at this point. And I go to get up, I can't move, I can't talk. I'm trying to scream for my mom, and I'm trying with every might, like every fucking inch of power I have in me. I'm trying so hard to move, dude, or to get up. And I remember I was telling my sister too, I was like, hey, like slap me or push me or push me off the bed or something, right? I started hearing stuff. I was hearing a voice on this side of my head, like if somebody was really, really close to me. And this voice was like a man voice, and it told me, drop. I remember every detail like it was yesterday, dude. And then when I heard that, I panicked, because I'm a very rational, logical person. So the way my brain operates, I start rationalizing things and I start breaking everything down and thinking of logical explanations of why this could be happening at this moment. So I hear that and I start freaking out, and I'm thinking to myself, because at that time in my life, I used to sneak out with my friends and just go hang out and shit. So I didn't have a screen on one of the windows. So I started thinking that somebody had broken into my house. A man climbed through my window and was like fucking burglarizing us. That's what was going through my head at that point. Then a different voice on this side of my head whispered to me and told me, wait, 3 times. And I remember it was a whisper. It wasn't like a solid voice. Dude, I started flipping the fuck out. Okay, so finally, like my finger, I think like moved like that, and the whole, like the spell was broken and I was able to get up. I ran to my mom. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, this just happened. And, da, 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 da. And I know that my mom knew what it was, but she didn't want to really get into it with me or talk to me about it until I was like older. So she was just like, you're good, you know, sleep with me. And for the longest, when I was younger, if it would happen to me and I would go sleep with my mom, it would not happen when I was with her. Moving forward, I started having these experiences and these occurrences pretty fucking often. So often that I ended up going to my doctor and I was like, hey, Mr. Doctor, I'm having this weird shit happen to me at night and I'm fully awake, I'm fully conscious. It feels like this and that. I see this and I hear that. The doctor tells me, okay, well, that's called sleep paralysis. That's when your body falls asleep before your brain does, which results in paralysis. And as far as A, B, C, and D and all of the above, you're just dreaming. That's your imagination projecting out while you're conscious. You're kind of half asleep, half awake situation. And so I'm like, okay, no, like I need you to give me like a CAT scan or something, or I need you because the way that this shit was feeling and the way that I have astral projections, it is so uncomfortable and intense that it actually physically hurts. So I was like, I started thinking that I was having like seizures or some shit because once I started getting them often, more and more and more often, so often to the point that, dude, during the day, like this was probably when I was like 15, 16, during the day, I would fucking dread all day. Like I'd be thinking about it. I'd be like, oh my God, is it gonna happen tonight? Like, I hope it doesn't happen tonight. Like, I hope I could just go home and go to sleep. I hope I could just lay down and watch TV and have none of this shit happen to me. Once it started progressing and it started happening more often, it got more intense. And I started getting these really crazy like zaps, like these electrocutions through my body. And I'm not talking about zaps like, you know how when you're about to fall asleep, but you know you're dozing off and you know you're about to fall asleep and you like twitch and wake yourself up because your electrical system in your body's shutting down and sometimes malfunctions, whatever. It's not that, dude. Like, it is not that. Like, this feels like someone is electrocuting the fuck out of me with 1,000 volts of electricity. It is so intense. So what happens is I'll start getting the humming, I'll start getting the vibrating. Vibrating will reach its peak. And once the vibrating has reached that peak, I start getting these zaps, and the zaps start like in the base of my, like my tailbone, like my ass bone. So it feels like I'm getting electrocuted, and the electrocution is like going up my spine and out of my head. It is the most uncomfortable. It hurts too. Like this shit hurts. It does not feel good, and it's really strong. So I start getting these like, it's like zoop, zoop, and I could feel it exiting my head, and a lot of times it would give me headaches too because of how strong it was. So that's why I was really under the impression that I was having fucking, seizures or something. I didn't know what the fuck that was because I'm like, dude, something's wrong with me. Like, this is not normal. You know what I mean? Doctors they'd give me tests, they'd check this, check that, and they'd be like, girl, you're fine. Like, it's sleep paralysis, everything you're explaining to me, sleep paralysis, maybe a little anxiety, and so eventually I got fed up with the doctors kind of dismissing me because that shit sucks, dude. I felt like helpless almost. Like, I keep going to them for help because I want this to go away and I don't know what it is, and I want to make sure that I'm okay and I'm not fucking sick or something's wrong with me. You guys are just telling me, no, girl, it's this, go home, you're fine, go home, you're fine. And it's like, that shit gets really, really, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just really stressful, okay? After that, I started looking for help in other places, like with healers and with shamans and witch doctors. So I found a world of information with that community, with the conscious spiritual community, and they enlightened the fuck out of me. But the one problem that I had was they pretty much told me that this is a gift and you should be lucky and you should be grateful that you have the capability to do this because not very many people can, or not very many people can astral project while conscious, if you will, because apparently a lot of people astral project, they just don't know it because it happens while they're sleeping. So they interpret it as a dream when in reality they were actually traveling in the astral realm. So initially, I had gone for help on how to make it stop. Come to find out, it's not gonna stop. So pretty much every healer I saw and every shaman I talked to was like almost talking to me like if I'm ungrateful, like, wow, like you have no idea how powerful you are. This is such a gift and that's such a blessing and you need to take advantage. And There's a reason you're being summoned, and the consistency of how often it happens to you, there's a reason that you're being summoned to that realm. There's business you have to take care of, okay? So I'm like a little ass teenager. Like, I don't know what the fuck. Like, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. Like, I ain't shit. Who am I? What they need? Who needs my help? What I'm gonna do for you guys? Tell you a joke? Like, that you might laugh at? Come on. So I'm like, okay. So pretty much after they told me that, you know, I would go pretty often so I could get like my chakras aligned, and I would do like group meditations and stuff like that, because I started thinking like, okay, well, fuck it. If I can't get rid of it, I'm gonna have to learn how to control this shit. But then every time that I have left my body, and this is completely unintentionally, right? And conscious too, like I'll be fully awake, sitting down watching TV, or even laying down watching TV, and it will happen to me while I'm awake, like while I'm aware. So the issue that I had was every time I had, you know, left my body, the environment in which I would be in look nothing like the environment that everybody is telling me it's supposed to look like. So all the people in the group meditation and stuff like that, the people that are also astral travelers, that's what they call people like us. You know, they would describe their travels as, you know, oh, you know, when I leave, I go flying over here, and everything's so vibrant and everything's so pretty and colorful, and there's rainbows and fucking fairies, and I'm just like sitting there like, I don't see none of that shit. I don't see any of it. That is absolutely the opposite of where I go and what I see. So either y'all are full of shit, or I'm just going to a completely different dimension than you guys are going to, which is kind of scary. So I remember being in this group meditation, we were all going around telling our stories, and it came to me, and they were like, yeah, okay, Nalani, like, where do you go? You know, like, oh, what do you see? What do you experience? Like, isn't it beautiful? And I'm just like, well, when I leave my body, so let's say, for example, my room, I'll be chilling in my room, have an AP, astral projection. It happens, bam, I leave my body. I'm no longer in my physical body. I will be in my astral body across the room, looking at myself on the bed, right? The environment, my room is still my room. Everything's still the same, but it's very lackluster. There's no pretty colors. In fact, there's hardly any color at all. There's hardly any light. There's just enough light in my room in order for me to see my surroundings. I could see my desk. I could see my shoes. I could see my wall, my TV. Also, whenever I astral project, this has happened a couple times too, and it's really tripped me out, is that I'll be watching TV like right now, for example, and all my lights will be on, and then bam, it'll happen. And then I realize like, oh shit, I'm not in my body. It's crazy as shit, dude. Like, it will literally happen, and then I'll be like, and I'll look at myself and I'll be like, oh, fuck, I left my body again. And so I'll go back. I always go back. I've never left my room because it scares the shit out of me. I don't like it. I notice that every time that happens and all my lights are on, when I depart or when I cross that whatever the fuck, none of my lights will be on and my TV's not on. Because sometimes it'll happen so fast that I won't realize I left my body because I'm still conscious, like I'm still awake. But then I'm like, wait a minute. I noticed that my positioning where I was sitting is different. Like I'll originally be laying down right there or chilling right there, and then bam, I'll be standing by my door and I'll be like, I'm not really right here. Like, it is the craziest shit, dude. And I'll look around and like my room is very dim. Like, it's just enough light for me to see what's around me, and that's it. There's no lamps on, there's no light, there's no TV, nothing. Like, and it's just lackluster and like cold and quiet. Not cold, obviously. I can't feel over there. I don't think I can. But just quiet and empty. You know what it kind of reminds me of, dude? When they came out with that fucking movie, what was that movie, Insidious? Where they go to get that little boy because his fucking spirit went and got stuck. Okay, now y'all understand why I don't like that shit? That's a little dramatic. I already asked my healers about that, and they said that that is very unlikely to happen, but it can happen, so be careful for my fellow travelers out there. But yeah, dude, I noticed that, like, it's just not... my experiences are completely the opposite of what everybody else says. Like, oh, the fucking rainbows and the colors. Like, no, bro. Like, I do not see any of that shit at all whatsoever. I'm gonna end this video right here because I'm gonna make kind of like a series, I guess. I'm gonna do like a part 2, part 3, part 4, and I'm gonna get into like each individual experience because I've had so many of them. And then I'll also go over like my actual symptoms and what happens to me during an astral projection and what I physically feel in my actual physical body. So stay tuned. I hope you guys like this video. If you didn't, don't watch the shit. And if you guys have any experiences, or if you guys have anything, any questions or any comments or anything like that, please leave them down below, bro. Like, I don't have nobody to talk to about this shit, okay? Let me know what you guys think below. Let me know your experiences. Like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, please do, because I will be coming out with some really weird shit. And if you're weird like me, then I think you would like it. So stick around, and I will see you guys in the next one.